Yeah, welcome to another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth with your host, Zach Kearse and the Fifth General. What up, man?
Hey, what up? What up? Good to be here. Good to be here, man. Yeah. Yo, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, man.
Absolutely. This is gonna be a news show. It's been a while since we've done news segments and stuff like that as a topic, but we got a lot to deal with. We're gonna get into some couple things. We got Shanquella. The United States decided to withdraw a federal investigation and federal charges, that is, on her death. So they decided to back out on that, and we'll give our context on that one later on. I want to talk about what's going on with Jalen Walker, a young man who was shot by the cops, then hit by him, in Akron, Ohio. We're going to talk about what the grand jury decided this year. Robotic law enforcement in the streets of New York City.
Wow. Yeah.
We're going to get into that. Also, what's the update on Derek Chauvin, the police officer who was convicted of killing in the death of George Floyd, putting a knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. We're gonna get into that, and then also, just a crazy story. A young man is getting 70 years in prison for spitting on a cop. That's crazy. I ain't never heard of that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And also a young kid, he got shot through the door, knocking on a man's door. He got shot. They arrested him, shot him through the door, then shot him in the head afterwards. I think they said he has a murder charge, attempted murder. There's a couple things going on with that one.
Yeah.
So let's do this. I want to start off talking about what's going on in New York, man. And you there, so.
Yeah, I'm here in New York. Yeah, man.
You can kind of give a heads up. I'm going to play a clip. And then what we're going to do is we're going to react to it. For the audience at home, we're playing the audio, okay? So we're going to get into what the situation is here, because I don't know what the heck is going on here. Let's go. I'll let it speak for itself.
Today, we are announcing 3 new policing technologies in New York City. The K5 autonomous security robot, the Spot Digidog robot, and the Star Chase GPS attachment system. Our job is to fight crime and keep people safe. And these tools are significant steps forward in that vital mission.
We are here to get stuff done. #GSP.
Today, we are announcing 3 new policing technologies in New York City. The K5 autonomous security robot, the Spot Digidog robot, and the Star Chase GPS attachment system. Our job is to fight crime and keep people safe. And these tools are significant steps forward in that vital mission.
All right, I played it twice because it was quick. So, you're there. Let me kind of paint a picture. So, it's these two floating robots. Well, not floating, but they're on wheels. They look like J5 from Blink Man. R2D2 from Star Wars. and then you have like an actual robot dog. I mean, in the image of what they would call a robotic dog, right? Then you have that, and they're supposed to have like let's see, facial recognition, audio recording. I think I read somewhere that the particular dog one is able to run your record. So it could kind of like scan who you are, facial recognize you, and kind of know who you are, your name and everything like that deep. You know what I'm saying? And it says here that it's going to be patrolling Times Square. My thing is this. I mean, fighting crime is fighting crime, but how much of the tax dollar is coming out of New York citizens for this? You go ahead, man. You live there.
Listen, right now, we're battling an inflation that's basically, They said it's supposed to be coming down, but as you can see, it hasn't come down fully yet. It's still it's all high. I see gas prices rising a little by surely by little. It's going up again. I see. So every time when the city puts something in place, like something like this, tax dollars are raised. Now you're paying more expenses and more things are coming out your pocket, and some of our salaries are not getting high. Some of our salaries are still low. Some of we still that everything is going up, but our salaries are still where it's at.
Nationwide, you're right.
Nationwide,
the price is going up, but the pay ain't going up.
The pay's not going up. So we're still in a battling and struggling situation. Now to put these police things in place is going to require some money, and it's going to require some, and maybe squeezing of this. It's definitely going to require squeezing of the citizens. That's for sure. Because who can pay for it? Mm-hmm. So they're gonna take it from some source, and most likely it's going to be the middleman that's working very hard, and it's going to be the man that's got to wake up at 5 a.m. to get to work. The man that works from 3 to 11. The man and woman that get up early in the morning. The man and woman and man that gets up, that works 3 to 11 shift. The man and woman that gotta make sacrifices. Maybe do that double shift. They're gonna take the money and they're gonna squeeze it into the pockets of the police, to the police equipment, these new police supplies. Now, I've been hearing about the dog. I've been watching that. It was very unique. I've been watching that on YouTube. I've been watching the robotic dogs, and I'm like, it looks very strange, but also looks very, I don't what to make of it. It looks a little demonic because you see, it's a canine and it's a robotic canine, and you see, as you can see them walking the streets. All of a sudden, let's say, for instance, now you went into a coffee shop and you pick up a coffee, and all of a sudden now you run into a robotic dog. You think it's a dog that's coming, but you look closer, you're like, what the heck? And you look in, and then you almost drop your coffee, or you almost drop your tea because the robotic dog just stopped right in the midst of you walking and scanned you because because suspect. You look like a suspect or perp. They'll just scan you. So I can see these dogs just randomly scanning people, walking in the streets of New York. And I'm not surprised that because in Boston or Baltimore, one of those cities, was it where they first did the first testing of the robotic dogs? It was in a city that starts with a B. I think it was Baltimore, I believe.
Sound like Baltimore to me based off
Baltimore.
That, go ahead.
Because these dogs, they were just scared. These dogs, they were just creating them and saying that this is the next new wave of law enforcement is these robotic dogs. These dogs that are android kind of type dogs. They look like they're able to chase you too.
Yeah.
Now
they look like it.
Yeah. So they look like maybe like Doberman Pinschers, but like in a robotic form. And I'm telling you, what else are gonna make next? Because with these dogs, they'll be able to scan you and possibly attack you too. So you know what? Oh, let's get a perp.
Yeah.
Stop you at midsection. I don't know how they're gonna get you, but they'll scan you, and then they got the NYPD, and then they have the PD coming after you at the same time too. So yeah, scary for us. I have to say scary for us sometimes because sometimes when people think that you're suspect, and sometimes you walk in the street and then all of a sudden now you're getting stares like you don't belong here. And those robotic dogs, they'll do that. I can see it doing it right now as we speak. You're walking and all of a sudden now stop you in the midst, or just scanning you, just scanning you up and down. You're like, what? Yeah. And there's a lot, and sometimes things make mistaken identity.
Well, somebody has to operate this thing, right? So
yes.
How does this work? Is it self-operated or is it operated by someone? I would think operated by someone. We don't know what type of defense systems robotically is actually on these actual robots.
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, call me a conspiracy theorist, but we don't know if there's like taser equipment attached to it. God forbid, there's actual. It has an actual type of Gatling gun equipment in it to where it could shoot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just use your imagination, people. You've seen movies. You play video games.
Yeah.
Ain't no telling. Or maybe this is how it starts. It's not armed. And then they decide, hey, you know what? We need to put some weapon defenses on this thing. Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
It's gonna get out of hand.
It's going to get out of hand, yeah.
Yeah. Police brutality is already out of hand. And I get it. Crime is out of hand, too. But there's a way to
these
do
dogs,
it.
yeah.
There's a way to fight it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's the tax dollar. The cost of living in New York is already inhumane.
Oh, my gosh. Okay?
The average person, and what I mean by average, I mean most people. And these are working people. Working people, not people who are just sitting home collecting welfare and food stamps all day.
Right.
We're talking about working people that make this economy go round.
Yes.
They can't live in cities that they were born in.
No.
So now you come up with this when what you could have done is allocated the funds for something very different that could benefit the city.
Right. Exactly.
The biggest thing that could cut back on crime is job creation and economic wealth for the average person.
Right.
You know, for the common person, the common man and woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that cuts back on crime. If you have a lot of crimes that involve death and stealing and money or food, that's because people don't have enough money or food.
Right. So crime goes up.
I mean, murder's a whole other situation because people with money can murder somebody. I get it. But then also in the poorest situations, we know that crimes that involve murder or assault typically will take place in neighborhoods that are disenfranchised. Okay, well, why is it disenfranchised? Okay, let's address the disenfranchised part. Let's just do that. But you know how it is. It's greed.
Mm-hmm.
People want to do what they want, you know. Mm-hmm. And really, it's what you call selective enforcement because this robot dog is not going to be in a rich neighborhood.
It's gonna be in our neighborhood, our community.
Although it says Times Square on this thing that I'm looking at, but nah, I think it's going to be more than that. I think what they're going to do is say Times Square, but then it's going to be soon in a hood near you.
The Bronx.
You know what I'm saying?
The Bronx.
Listen, there was already rumors of law enforced checkpoint systems coming to certain cities near you.
Yeah.
Let me paint a picture for what that is. For those who have seen how, let's see, I could think of movies like, well, let's not say movie, I'll just say real life. If you're familiar with apartheid, if you're familiar with Nazi Germany, they had quote unquote checkpoint systems where at a certain part of the place you got the military there checking you out before you enter this section of the city. That could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. Yeah. Checkpoints. It's called, people that don't know, it's called martial law, meaning that they can stop and frisk is coming back, or maybe his back is coming, and they will have to bust into your martial law, where they can stop and frisk,
run up in your home at will.
Run up in your home, which is another like martial law kind of tactic. To run up in your home, because they feel that you're suspicious movements, so they run up in your home while you're watching TV, while you're watching your app on TV, sleeping. Any time of the hour, any time of the day, you could be relaxing in the home, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. without any warning, bust into your where you live without any warning. Scary, but that's martial law, and that can possibly happen, especially with the rise of technology and certain things put in place as far as like these robotic dogs and different things put. These R2D2 robotic things that's come. Yeah. So it can be like that, like a purge.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people, man. I mean, always be mindful and always keep connected to what's going on around you. Don't be oblivious, because things are happening, and and I'm telling you, man, when this thing comes out, the dogs come out, the robotic dogs come out, and certain R2D2 kind of robotic forms for as far as law enforcement have put this in place. If you're not praying, or if you're not aware or oblivious to what's going on, you'll be shocked out of your mind. It'll be a rude awakening.
Right.
Rude awakening. Yeah. Yeah. So wake up. Wake up. Wake up out there.
So we're gonna move on, because we have a lot more to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play this. Make sure my audio right. All right, hold on. Let me make sure, man, that everything's good on my end, recording wise, because I just started the show and didn't even really monitor it. That's my fault. All right, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
It is 70 years in prison for a Lubbock man found guilty of spitting at Lubbock police. A jury handed that verdict down to this man, 36-year-old Larry Pearson, today. He is found guilty on 2 counts of harassment of a public servant for spitting at the officers. Pearson was arrested in May 2022 for a domestic violence incident. As he was being taken to jail, Pearson started kicking the doors of the officer's vehicle. When an officer opened the door to tell him to stop, Pearson spit at both of them and continued spitting at them until he got to jail. Pearson also had prior convictions of aggravated robbery and continuous family violence. Due to those convictions, the minimum sentence Pearson could have received would have been 25 years. It is
Now, let me play that again for the people if it was too quick, because this is kind of crazy.
It is 70 years in prison for a Lubbock man found guilty of spitting at Lubbock police. A jury handed that verdict down to this man, 36-year-old Larry Pearson, today. He was found guilty on 2 counts of harassment of a public servant for spitting at the officers. It is
70
years.
Did you say? I thought it was 7 years.
70.
You said 70 years?
70.
Did this man murder somebody?
No.
Or just spit?
So this is a man with priors that involve physical assault, domestic disputes. But he got 70 years for, like they described. They said the police reported that he was kicking the door in the cop car, and then he spit on the officer. They claim if it wasn't for his priors, he probably would have got only 25. Listen, how do you go 25 to 70? That's an extreme.
They wanted to put him away, and they wanted to put him away. They wanted to put him away for because the officers got angry.
Yeah.
But listen, he lost control. He was wrong too. You lost control. You start spitting at people.
He lost control.
That's wrong. That's wrong too. That's wicked. That's wrong. It's wicked. You don't spit. You don't spit. That's an assault. You don't spit at people. You don't do it. And you lose control. Losing control could get you locked up in prison long time. But 70 years for this is all trumped up charges they had against him. Trumped up charges that, and they wanted to get him. They wanted to get him. They wanted to lock him down. This was like his last straw, possibly his last straw. And because of his last straw, they said, you know what? Let's give him maximum 70 years. That's a sentence for somebody that murdered somebody. That's a sentence for somebody that actually,
I know, right?
Yeah.
It sound
70
like
years.
You would think so, but yeah, 70. Now you're right. When I first saw this story, I was like, how the heck he get 70?
25
You
to
know what I'm
70.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
What do
never
you- hey.
gonna. Yeah.
So this was in Lubbock, I think Lubbock, Texas. But
Yeah.
hey, man. So we all know that that black people get harsher sentences for the same crimes everyone else does, right?
Facts.
So
Yeah.
we're not arguing that the crime we're not arguing his spitting on a cop. I mean, you spit on a cop, man. You liable to not get a bullet in your behind, right?
Right.
Spitting on a cop. People have gotten bullets in them for way less than spitting.
Way less spit. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you look at a cop wrong, that could be your last night. Okay,
Yeah.
So
People. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, but black people get what should be done? Because it's like we talk about this all the time. Because it's like a catch-22. You protest this, then people say, "Hey man, why y'all making him a hero?" It's not about making him a hero. It's about we're not saying that he should go free either. But what we're saying is, why 70 years? Why so extreme?
I can get 10 years. I can get maybe 10, 15 years, 10 years, but 70, that's a lifetime. 70,
we're going to reveal the hypocrisy later on.
Yeah, we have to.
Next story. I'm going to segue into the next thing, and I'm going to tell you some hypocrisy for your years, ladies and gentlemen. But now, Zacchaeus, go ahead.
Yeah, and he's facing 70 years.
Yeah.
Because what they do, this is what they do.
Yeah.
This is what they do, especially when it comes to us black and brown people. This is what they do. What they do is they pile up trumped up charges, which a lot of us are either we're in denial, or we don't notice, or we just or we just don't care. Some of us don't care. What they do is you have a domestic crime that was reported, and you get arrested. Charge against you.
Right.
You get arrested for maybe shoplifting, not a charge against you. So, and you get arrested for a woman saying that you touch her in the wrong way, not arrest. So what they do is they pile all these charges up, and it's called trumped up charges. Trumped up charges, and now they're ready to give you the maximum. They give you the maximum, and they throw the book at you by giving you the maximum. That's why we always got to cross our I's and dot our T's compared to our other counterparts. Because what now I'm kind of skeptical about because I don't know his ethnicity. You know, he's
a black man, sir.
Okay. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
Because spitting at somebody, and guess what? And guess what? You know the sad thing about this situation? Sad thing about this situation is that they got their white counterparts that will spit on the police, wave a machete at a police, a long machete at a police,
shoot at police,
slap, assault a police,
and live to tell another day,
and get off,
and
live and get off, and go on to the merry way, where you as a black man or Hispanic face crucial charges, trumped up charges that you even did when you for let's say if you got a tap on the hand for a little boy, you steal a candy out of the store, and they treat us differently, or you did something like 10, 20 years ago. They bring that charge and they add it to the charge you did now. See the difference? And now they're facing 70 years. So we have to cross our I's and dot our T's at all times, because there's no justice for us. Okay? Now, not saying that he was wrong, totally wrong. for spitting at the police. That's wrong, and he should get penalized. Sure, I would say even give this man 7, 8 years, 10 years. You don't spit at a police officer. You don't spit at authority. That's wrong. You're off,
she said
you're
at
wrong.
most. She said at most a person who didn't have any priors. I like how she said it that way. She said at most you can get is 25 for something like that. But they looked at his old record and said, "Oh, well, we got to get him off the street, so we just gonna give him 70." I'm gonna tell you this: if that man would have actually did a crime towards another person, I don't think he would have got 70 years for that. But it's because he spit on a cop that he got 70 years.
70 years, right?
That's what did it. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh no, you could spit on somebody else, but you ain't spitting on me." That's why he got 70 years.
Yeah.
You can't be black with priors and spit on the cop. Oh no, they draw the line there.
Yeah.
So that is what you call an extreme measure to make an example out of someone, just in case somebody else black is thinking about spitting on a cop. Here's my thing about this though. Could it be your word against mine situation where somebody could say, "This guy spit on me," and then the person's like, "No, I didn't." I mean, it could turn into that.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
First of all, you have to prove spit. So what do they do, like a DNA test? I mean, if it wasn't caught on camera, how do you prove? How can an officer prove that someone spit on him? You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry for the feedback, ladies and gentlemen, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Hypocrisy alert.
Yep.
Hey, y'all remember Derek Chauvin, right? The one from Minneapolis, the one that put a knee on George Floyd's neck.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Who got murder 1, murder 2, and murder 3?
Yes.
He's only going to serve 22 and a half years. So we just got done talking about a man, black man it is, spitting on a cop and getting 70 years. And now we have a cop who killed a man on camera.
On camera. You heard that, y'all? For
the world to see. For the world to see. I mean the whole world, because the whole world was protesting.
Yeah, that was live footage. Remember? That was live footage. Yeah.
And he only got 22 and a half years.
See the hypocrisy now? See that? Can't compare 70 years to 22 years. 22 years is a long time. But you can't compare 72 to 22 years.
You sure can't. And I ain't even done that. Okay. Remember the cop that killed we did a show about this. Dante Wright?
Dante Wright. Oh, I remember him, yes.
When she yelled out, "Taser, taser, taser," and then had an actual gun in her hand and shot him, she's supposed to be getting out a year.
A year.
So a cop could kill somebody and get less time than you spitting on him. I mean, when does it end?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, no surprise here. I mean, George Zimmerman's still walking around. He killed a child.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
What do you say all the time, Zacchaeus? Different strokes for
different folks. Yeah. What they can get away with the powers that be can get away with, you can't get away with. We can't get away with. So, and that's a fact. And some of us fail to acknowledge this, and some of us don't care. We seem to keep doing what we do and think that, okay, we'll get a fair shake and expect the law to be on your side. The law is not on your side. So, gotta be mindful of that, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta be mindful. Man, it's just is a crazy situation. Yeah. You know, they got Zimmerman. Yeah. We spoke about Zimmerman. Zimmerman that killed Trayvon Martin, and Zimmerman is free.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's free. Free man walking around.
Didn't even
Zimmerman lost his life. Young man lost his life. And guess what? Zimmerman's not even a cop. Zimmerman is a citizen.
I want to be punk behind neighborhood watch dude.
Watch dude, yeah.
Punk
But yet,
dude, man.
yeah, wannabe cop, and he wound up killing.
Sucker.
Yeah.
He ain't nothing without
so
that gun, man. I'll tell you something right now.
Huh.
I think the reason why he shot Trayvon because when he fought Trayvon was probably beating the brakes off him.
Yeah.
And so he probably was like, "Oh no, I gotta kill him," because
Right.
I didn't start a fight. I didn't start a fight with a 17-year-old child.
Yeah. Yes.
Grown man starting a fight with a 17-year-old child.
Okay.
And Trayvon probably was fighting for his life. Got the upper hand on him because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to if somebody is attacking you, the point is to stop the attack. And he probably figured, he getting the best of me.
Right.
And that's why I think he killed Trayvon, because he's a punk sucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why. I digress. We're going somewhere else. The point that we're pointing out is the hypocrisy of it. So we're gonna give a man 70 years for spitting on a cop, but we're gonna give one cop what? How long ago was the Dante Wright thing? Might have been like 2 years ago, man.
Yeah, about 2 years. Yeah.
Because that was around the same time Adam Toledo got killed by them cops. I think he was 13, running from the law. He was unarmed and he got shot. Young Mexican kid.
Yes.
That was messed up too, and we talked about that.
We mentioned it. Yeah.
We mentioned it. So we're just talking about hypocrisy, and I got some more hypocrisy for y'all. Last year, a grand jury. Well, okay, hold on. This year, a grand jury made in Ohio a decision to decline to indict the Akron police officers who shot 25-year-old black man, Jalen Walker, dozens of times, killing him after a car chase and foot chase last year. The incident took place on June 27, 2022. The grand jury concluded the officers were legally justified in their use of force against Jalen Walker, according to Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost. Let's fast forward to how many times they shot this cat. They shot him. 13 officers were on the scene. Hold on. 8 police officers fired 94 shots, all within 6.7 seconds.
Wow.
Zacchaeus. I may not be no. It says 3 of the officers fired 18 times each. That's worse than Sean Bell and Amadou Diallo.
Wow. I mean, you talk about
94 shots within 6.7 seconds. 3 of the officers fired 18 times each. What the heck weapons did they have? Automatic rifles?
Excessive. And you talk about excessive force.
He had, out of the 94 that hit him, that was fired at him, it says that his wounds consist of 46 entry wounds.
Wow.
According to the autopsy. So out of 94, 46 went into him.
Wow.
That means they were just shooting wild, obviously.
Yeah.
8 officers.
Execution style.
13 on the scene. That's a lot of cops.
Yeah.
For one man.
Yes.
That's a lot of cops. Right? And yes, you have to stop a police chase. I get it. He was in the car and then later he ran on foot. It was when he ran on foot.
Yeah.
That they shot him that many times.
Yeah.
If you're running on foot, and I don't see anything here saying that he was armed. It says here that they said that he reached for his waistband So they felt like, oh, he about to pull out and shoot. Only then officers took 5 shots at him. And they thought that Walker was shooting at them. No, it was because y'all was shooting. So the rest of the cops got confused. You shooting so many times, they think he had a gun.
Yeah.
Zacchaeus, speak on that, man.
The reason why they shot at him, and it's obvious, they were so they have to. When you make a police officer work and make them chase you,
yeah,
they become like beasts.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're showing you no mercy.
That's a fact. Shooting you in the back.
They're shooting you in they are angry and they're letting those bullets fly. I'm not surprised at all those bullets. Why? Because now you got them to a point of anger and no return.
Mm-hmm.
So because you made them work and sweat and have to chase you, they are taking you out.
Yeah.
They're taking you out. And that's exactly what happened to him. They take you out. Why I gotta work just to chase you? And they tell you this, if you didn't run, we wouldn't shoot you. But
that gives you no reason. You remember that
force.
You remember that brother in North Carolina that was he had a warrant for his arrest for unpaid child support, and when he ran the raid, they shot him in the back like 6 times. Remember this video of that?
Oh yeah, video. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So some suspected white supremacists and police apologists were justifying that man getting shot down. Unpaid child support. The man ain't kill nobody. So you don't even have to be. Listen, no matter what it is, you don't even have to be doing anything, and somebody will say you should have got shot. This is the hypocrisy that people are kind of wondering where are we going with this show? Are we going with it as far as saying who can get off and who should get on? No, it's not what we're saying. What we're saying is we run down the list of things that happen in this nation, and then we go from one extreme to the other. We just saw a man get 70 years for spitting on a cop.
Wow, yeah.
And then now we have all these news of cops killing citizens, black citizens, that is, and doing either very minimal, itsy bitsy time, or not doing time at all.
What's the brother name? They got ice cream. I call him. I think the cop that killed him, he was eating ice cream.
Bottom Jean
ran
up in his apartment. Yeah.
Eating ice
Amber
cream.
Amber Geiger.
Yeah, Amber Geiger.
I think at most she got was 10 years.
Yeah, and that's all she got was 10
Ain't
years.
that something? Running up in another man's home, talking about, I thought he was in my apartment. Trick.
Yeah.
Your apartment was on a whole nother room, a whole nother floor.
Yeah.
So that's another example. Thank you, Zacchaeus.
Yes. So this is what goes on. It goes on and consistently goes on. I remember the black officers that killed that one kid, beat him to a pulp. Whatever happened to that case? It seems like
that's still in the works. I freaking hate that. We talked about that.
Yeah, we did mention that. We did talk about it. But that case is, I guess that case is still, I guess it's ongoing. But I ain't hear nothing about it. So
we'll have updates. But yeah, that's the one that happened in Memphis when they ran up on them. 5 officers, five black officers.
Yeah,
took turns beating them and then took a selfie.
Yes, and
then come to find out, one of the cops, I guess his ex-girlfriend or something.
Yeah,
he knew the woman, and he was like on some, yo, is this him? So they were after him. Him.
Right. Yes, days were numbered. Yes, So it's just an ongoing. Sometimes you gotta wonder, like with certain circumstance situations. Sometimes you're caught up in some I used to be hearing some serious things, man. I know that when it comes to certain type of murders or certain cases, especially when we're involved, when it comes to black people involved, and black people just involved in the cases, is I would say is and it's publicized, but it's also not emphasized as much as certain cases as emphasized. So that's why I say we gotta be we as people in our community, we gotta be as mindful of what we do and mindful of how we move and be aware of what's going on around us. Have to be. We have to be. And certain things it's just has to be. So we're gonna go into more stories and everything. More stories need to be shared, and we thank you for the audience for tuning into our show, because this is something that we have to embark on and talk about, and also things that's happening around the U.S. that's going on right now, especially these cases with all these with the shootings, and still racism here. Yes, certain things has gotten better, but it's still here. Still ugly racism still wears its head. So, and we're dealing with it right now. And this is why I always say, for certain folks are privileged, and certain folks like myself and Fifth are not so privileged to get certain things, certain rights towards us, as far as like when it comes to justice in the justice system. And it's still here. Nothing has changed. That's why you see so much of some of us are saying, listen, I had enough of the US. I gotta leave. Some of us are saying that. Some of us are you hear about that, right, Fifth? Some of our folks are going to Ghana. Some of our folks are going to Ghana or Liberia, traveling to Liberia.
If that's any better, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing is that as Black Americans or just Black people who are in America, you're just trying to figure out if it ain't here, where do you go? Because God forbid you go there, then it's got its own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's ridiculous, man. I kind of want to segue into, because we got more to go. You wanted to talk about Ralph Yarl, right?
Yeah, young boy in Kansas City was going to pick up his. Yeah,
I got it. We'll let the clip do the talking.
Okay, cool. Right, all right.
Reporting that Ralph Yarl was released from the hospital yesterday. Is that good news? How is he doing?
It's a miracle, Jake. Nothing short of a miracle. Obviously, he's still struggling, severe post-traumatic stress disorder, but he and his family are just happy that he's alive after being shot in the head.
Is he going to be ultimately okay? What's the prognosis?
The prognosis is that he's young and strong, and he's a fighter. The fact that he has a lot of prayers that he hopefully will fully recover, but it's just the beginning now. He's not out of the woods yet, but the great thing is they said he was stable enough to go to his home.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All right, that was Benjamin Crump talking on CNN. For those who know who that was, talking to Jake Tapper about Ralph Yarl. Let me read the article real quick. Just brief. 84-year-old white man accused of shooting Black teenager who rang his doorbell in Kansas City turned himself in Tuesday and was later released on bail. I didn't even know that part.
Wow.
Andrew Lester, who faces 2 felony charges, assault in first degree and armed criminal action in the April 13th shooting of Ralph Yarl. Am I saying his name right? Is it Yarl? Yarl? Well, okay.
I think Yarl. I think Yarl.
Yarl. Yeah. According to will be arraigned Wednesday afternoon, according to Amelie attorney Lee Merritt. I'm trying to read this as best as I can, y'all. This is CNN. CNN has reached out to the prosecutors to confirm the information. Lester turned himself in at a detention center Tuesday. Then hours later, here we go with the hypocrisy, was released on bail. The conditions of his $200,000 bond prohibit him from having any type of weapon. Yeah, that's the least that could happen, right? And could not have direct or indirect contact with Yari or his family, according to Clay County Sheriff's Office spokesman Sarah Boyd. Ralph was 16, was shot in the head and the arm after he went to the wrong address to pick up his siblings. He has been released from a hospital but faces a arduous road to recovery. His family said Lester has told police he and the teen did not exchange words before he fired at him through a locked glass door. Of course they didn't exchange words, because they said that the old man just walked to the door and just fired off. And then went outside to finish the job.
What I think about that?
I thank God this kid is alive, man.
Me
Jesus
too.
Christ.
Yeah, my God.
Just because you ring the wrong doorbell don't mean you mean to get shot. I can understand if you was kicking the door and all that. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
That let me tell you something. That man is freaking spooky, because he spooked out. He saw a black kid and he was like, "Oh, now's my time."
Right.
That's why he did that. You can't tell me no other way.
And remember, he's in his 80s. So you know how some of those folks used to think about us.
Hey,
so
he turned himself, he almost murdered a child, and they let him out on bail in hours.
Let's try to embark on that and explain that. Listen. And I always say, I don't want to keep I can reiterate different strokes for different folks, but it's true. He got off. He got off of bail. You bailed him out. Got off. Some of us, when we do crime, we don't have no bail. Arrested, no bail. No bail. No. There's no options. Just go straight. That's like the guy that spit on the police. No options. 70 years. That's it. Got him.
In what world? I'm sorry. I won't say no more for a couple minutes. In what world can a black man, woman, or child kill somebody and get out in 3 hours on bail? Or attempt to kill someone? What world is that, Zacchaeus?
It's not our world. It's not our world. It's not our world.
You go ahead. You have the floor. I'll wait till the next story.
This boy, I praise God. Me and Fifth, we praise God that this boy actually survived. Praise God that Ralph.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. Ralph Yarl survived the shooting. Thank God he survived to live to see another day. We pray, and we're gonna consistently pray for him because he's trying to recuperate. Now, seeing a young black kid come to your door, and listen, young black kid come to your door, and all of a automatically, in this 80-something-year-old man's head, he's a criminal. Automatically, he's a threat. Automatically, he's on the defense. Instead of going to the door like a normal human being and saying, "May I help you?" he comes to the door with a gun, firearm, and literally tried to murder this boy. But it's through the grace of God that he's able to survive. Through the grace of God that he's able to He's hooked up. He's still trying to recuperate. It's not easy. And he's able to actually have an opportunity to live to see the next day. Now, this is straight racism. No matter how you bend it, no matter which way you turn it, no matter which way you twist it, no matter which way, because if Ralph Yarl was Caucasian, the outcome would have been different. He'd have been like, "Can I help you? Are you looking?" He would have probably directed him in the right direction where you need to go. That's why certain places where we go in the States and certain things that we venture out and we go. Now, he's a young kid, not knowing that he's a young guy, young kid, 16 years old, not knowing that this horrific thing would have happened to him, not knowing. It goes to tell you. And he gets off on bail, just like that. Off on bail. Literally, practically almost murdered this kid. And it was attempted murder. And then he gets off. Gets off on bail. Now, no telling. He's an old man. No telling. He may do it again. No telling. Wow. That's all I gotta say about this. Yeah, man.
I swear, if this old man don't get convicted, I won't do it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
We're coming towards the end of our show. We have to end off with this topic here. We've talked about Shanquella. I would say maybe like we did an episode of her, and then we did updates throughout the other episodes that we've done this season. But we've done this season an episode dedicated to Shanquella Robinson. I'm going to read this news. I'll read it in full. The October 2022 death of 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson left the world in shock as details of the events that unfolded during a group trip to Mexico slowly came to light. A video uploaded to social media showed Shanquella being attacked by the people that she considered friends. Mexican officials made claims that Shanquella died of a cracked spine and later charged one of her friends. That one particular friend who still remains in Mexican custody. On April 12th, a U.S. attorney, Dina King, and the FBI stated that there wasn't enough evidence to prove criminal activity occurred. The official statement reads, based on the results of the autopsy and after a careful deliberation and review of the investigative materials by both U.S. attorneys' offices, federal prosecutors informed Miss Robinson's family today that the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution. The evidence does not support a federal prosecution. Zacchaeus, you have the floor.
Now, when I hear about the people getting off CIA, feds are not really following up on this case anymore. I felt sad. I felt that my spirit sunk. Because in my mind, I'm thinking that there will be some kind of justice for Shanquella. Now, when I heard this latest news about Shanquella Robinson, my heart sunk. That these enemies of hers, then I won't even call them so-called friends, they're enemies of hers, that got off. This, I think one serving time in Mexico, you said, right? One serving time in Mexico.
The one that was on the video. Yeah, the one that was on the video who slammed her.
Yeah. serving time in Mexico, but the rest, when they dropped the case, got off. No justice for Shanquella still, because all people need to be charged. All. And the thing is, I want to say, I can say a few things, but I could also say that the black women value is not much at all. When it comes to black women, the value is not much at all. And
definitely not with none of us, because we just talked about all black men, and you saw how they were valued.
Yes.
So it's both of us. I understand what you're saying, Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
But we done gave like five stories?
Five stories about black men. Black men. Yeah.
So
it's all of us. So
it's all of us. Yeah, I just want to correct it. Not you per se.
Yeah.
But the audience has this narrative that black men are protected, but not black women. Oh no, that's a lie. So that has been proven tonight, and historically, it has always been that way. That both of us.
And can I say this too?
Black man, woman, and child. We talked about grown black men and black male kids not getting justice.
Yeah. Tamir Rice.
To this day.
Tamir Rice.
Go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt your thought. Sorry.
It's okay. So we got to value ourselves too as well. Because, and it's sad because I want to reiterate this, because I think I said this earlier in the show. When black people kill black people, it's public. We go to jail. It's publicized, but it's not emphasized. Mm-hmm. But when black people are killed by certain, I'm gonna say the white supremacy or Illuminati,
right. Yep.
It's basically, it's basically you gotta low and far just to get justice.
Yeah.
Low and far just to get justice. Low and far just to get justice. And you have to fight hard to get justice.
Right.
Don't happen overnight. You have to look hard and far. I'm forgetting there was a recent case where there was somewhat kind of justice served. A recent case, trying to think that it was some kind of justice done. It will probably come to mind sometime, but that's far few in between when it comes to justice for us. As you can see, the man that killed George Floyd got 22 years. As you can see, only 22. Where everybody can see, broad daylight, can see it on footage, live footage, and he gets 22 years. Now, Shanquella Robinson, God rest her soul, goes to Mexico, so-called friends, and then all of a sudden now, there's only one friend being held. This, when it comes to going to certain places, and maybe it's the rules and regulations, but the value of us is not even respected in Mexico, because recently, just recently, not too long ago, maybe about last month, I would say maybe 2 weeks or last month, some black folks, 2 survived. It was a shooting in Mexico where 2 black folks lost their lives and 2 survived, and nothing came out of it. Shanquella loses her life brutally, severely and brutally loses her life, and barely, and it is dropped. Only one person, it was quite a few people involved in her murder, but only one person serves time. So the value of us is not much. And that's even across the board. Do you know much people? Well, especially when it comes to black folks getting missing, that is okay. They're missing, and that's it. Brush under the carpet, and that's it. So we gotta value each other, and that's the bottom line.
I got something
Enough
to play.
said. Go ahead.
Obviously in a state of affairs where there's two different justice systems in America. And we know that in ours, we have to fight for our justice. We have to rally for our justice. We have to beg for the same constitutional rights. And Shanquella is doing that even in death. United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base. We're safe. We're not going to be charged with a crime. That cannot be the message that the U.S. authorities want to send. So while we're here disappointed, we're not deterred. We're going to continue to press on. We're going to continue to demand that there's a high level of diplomatic intervention in this case, that if the U.S. authorities are now again telling us, oh, well, it's back on Mexico because Mexican authorities have to do something. We were obviously in a state of affairs where there's two different justice systems in America. And we know that in ours, we have to fight for our justice. We have to rally for our justice. We have to beg for the same constitutional rights. And Shanquella is doing that even in death. United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base. We're safe. We're not going to be charged with a crime.
You have the last word, sir. You can close out the show.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna close out with this. He's right. She's right on that.
That's Sue Ann Robinson, Shanquella's family attorney. Just letting people know who it was.
Yeah, and she's right because I'm gonna say this. When it comes to black males too, but it comes to black females too, as well as it has a now we're seeing the value of each of us. Now we're actually looking in the mirror and looking at the value of us and seeing that we have to fight tooth and nail for justice and for civil rights and to get justice when something like this happens. And then you're gonna happen. Then I'm thinking this too. So-called friends that lined up Shanquella, that's why jealousy is an evil thing. Jealousy and this crabs in the barrel mentality is an evil thing. Probably say, let's go to Mexico. And how did it all planned out? Go to Mexico and let's do what we got to do to Shanquella. She's too positive. She's entrepreneur. She's doing her thing as a young black woman doing her thing. And they lined her up and figured that Mexico, they can get away with it because we're not in the States now. We're in Mexico. Figured that you can get away with it because they're in Mexico. And they lined her up and they just murdered her. All because they're across the border. Now, when it comes to us, sometimes we gotta value, like I said, we gotta value each other too as well. And not even, some of us don't have that value for each other. And that mentality and that jealousy and that hate and that crabs in the barrel mentality is going to just ruin us. So we got to just value each other and we got to respect each other. That should not have happened to Shanquella. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. But those so-called enemies of her, they lined her up and they had it out. That's what I want to say. And I hope and I pray that some way and somehow in some lone fire, that those other people that didn't get justice comes to them. Justice, no, they get what they deserve. And justice for Shanquella. Okay? Enough said. Yeah.
All right, brother. Let them know where they can reach you at.
You can reach me at Zacchaeus Music at Instagram, also on Facebook, Wayne Bacchus 167 on Facebook, on Twitter, at Wayne Bacchus 2 on Twitter, and TikTok, Wayne Bacchus Gospel on TikTok, also on I have other social medias. I'm trying to. But anyway, you can reach me at Zacchaeus Music and Instagram. Hit me up, y'all. God bless. Peace.
Y'all can get at me at the Fifth General, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, okay? All right. This was another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next time, man.
Next time, and thanks for tuning in.
That's all I got to say. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see y'all next episode. Peace.
Peace.